Hi, everybody. Um, this will probably be a difficult um, video to upload. And the reason why is because the the nature and the topic of the um, the video is I don't know. There's a lot of stigma that is attached to the subject. And what I want to talk about is something that I've been considering for quite a while. I've had some significant issues with regard to just my well-being, I guess you could say, and having a hard time figuring out what the best thing is for me. And I'm gonna, go through all of that stuff. The first thing that we're going to go through is the topic is hormone optimization. Or it could be in better known circles, testosterone replacement therapy. So I have a little bit of history that I want to talk about, and hopefully all of these different things are going to make sense somehow to you, the viewer. The first thing that I want to talk about is I want to talk about my medical history, just briefly. So here about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I got divorced, and there were some things that surrounded that, and I guess the main thing was that I had a really hard time with abandonment issues. I've always had like real serious problems with facing abandonment, or what I felt like was abandonment. And so when my then wife chose to divorce me, it really took a psychological toll on me. That's when I think I started going downhill. So about 4 years ago, I think it was, or maybe 3 years ago, I had an accident with a horse that it was a colt that I was starting, and trying to training, and it was my personal horse. He was a Mustang, and as a matter of fact, I bought him, or I didn't buy him. They don't like that word. I adopted him from a young lady in southern Nebraska that had placed, she either placed like maybe fourth, or she placed pretty high in the handling aspect, the groundwork aspect of the competition. I can't remember right now what that competition was, but it was a well-known Mustang competition, and he the horse, his name was Slick. He handled very, very well on the ground, and what I mean is that in a halter, no saddle, so on and so forth. He was docile. He was not, hard to train at all. She did a really good job with him. Well, I got him under saddle, and he would do very, very well around the house. But then, for some reason, he just, I don't know, he wasn't doing real well away from the house. And so that during that time that I was having with him, I took him to a clinic that my wife, my now wife, was doing it over in Iowa. And he ended up starting to pitch and got me up out of the saddle. I come down on my hip, on the cantle of the saddle, which is the back part of the seat. And I dislocated my SI joint, my sacroiliac joint. Well, I didn't go to the doctor. I didn't do anything to try to help myself out. And so I just tried to be tough about it. And it was the wrong decision. My SI joint ended up healing wrong, and I was I'm still under chiropractic care, and have been on a weekly basis since, for going almost 3 years now. I have other back issues and that type of a thing. After that's part of the I suppose the physical aspect of my medical stuff that's kind of going on. Okay, so rewinding again. Okay, so I got divorced. I met my wife now, and her name is Kelly. I met her, and we were doing well for about a year. We were dating romantically, and she ended up being pregnant, and before we got married, and our little boy's name is Austin, and Austin's a great little man. He's 5.5 now, and we got married after he was born, and so the hard part about talking about this stuff is the personal aspect of it. Our sex life was good to a point, not excellent, but good to a point. And then after we got married, something started going kind of weird with me. Um, had really, like no sexual desire. Um, the that spelled for a lot of issues with Kelly and I in our relationship. Another part is that when I started receiving chiropractic care for this SI issue, and to be honest with you, I've always had back issues, back pain, that type of thing going on. Okay, so when I was in chiropractic care because of the SI dislocation, I was asked by the chiropractor. I used Gonstead method. I'm not going to name my chiropractor, but he's a local chiropractor in Omaha, and he asked me to be off of work, to he only wanted rest. And living on a farm with a wife and an older, at the time, a junior in high school, teen girl, and a toddler, and being bedridden basically was a challenge. It presented a lot of problems inside the marriage. It presented a lot of psychological issues for me, and I gained weight just because I was physically inactive. I'm an iron worker by trade. I'm and I've, for I'm in my 23rd year now. And it was just difficult. Okay, so after 9 months of being inactive, I had healed enough to where that he thought that I could go back to work, the chiropractor, and I did. I did not. I was not doing well. I didn't have any strength. My body hurt all the time. But I kind of stuck with that for, well over a year. During the time that I was off of work and mostly bedridden, I was going through a lot of psychological issues, as I mentioned before, and I talked to pastors, the pastor that we had, and one of the things that I said that I would do is, because before I went to chiropractic, I had tried pain management, and I had been on gabapentin. That didn't work. I was misdiagnosed. Went on a mild antidepressant. That was ridiculous. And was, just it's difficult to explain. I don't want to make any excuses or anything like that, but it is very, very difficult to to try to put into words, what I was going through. I was not necessarily like, I wasn't suicidal. I did not, I didn't think about, try to, I can't remember what the, words are, but I wasn't experiencing a thing that, where I would think about suicide. I did not, try to think of ways of how I could commit suicide. I didn't do any of that type of stuff, but I would think about life really isn't worth living. It was difficult for me to get out of the funk that I was in, and honestly, it was just I was in a really bad place for quite a while. Okay, so 2 years ago, almost, well, a year and a half ago, which would be September, at the very end of September of 2019, I was on a job in South Dakota, and it was erecting windmills for wind energy. It was a Sunday morning. It had been misty, not raining, but the ground, the topsoil, the very, just the very, very top of the dirt was wet. We were doing some what's called down tower assembly, which is the very the bottom of the tower before they put any of the tower base on, or any of the sections of the tower. All of the electrical equipment is basically called the down tower assembly. So we were erecting some of the down tower assembly, and I was on a ladder. It was an A-frame ladder. I was on a ladder, and the legs of the ladder, if you can imagine looking at it, at an A-framed ladder, the side of it to where that you can see the A, all right? And one section, or one part of the legs, was on one side of the anchor bolts, and then the other side was on the outside part of the anchor bolts. And there really wasn't a way for me to set up the ladder, so I would be working off the side of the ladder because of these anchor bolts. So my boots were a little bit muddy, and I climbed up the ladder. I turned around away with my back towards the ladder, and that was the only way that I could see and do my work. I came down after checking some rigging. I came down off of the ladder. My foot slipped because of the mud, and went in between the 4th and the 5th rung of the ladder. So that was about 4 feet up off of the ground. I fell face first onto an anchor bolt, and you can't see it very well, but you can see it right here. An anchor bolt impacted my cheek, and maybe I can show pictures of that. Maybe not. I don't really know how to work YouTube right now, but gonna try. Impacted my cheekbone, my orbital, broke it here, and broke it here in 2 places. Didn't knock me out, but shoved basically my entire cheekbone up into my eyeball. And so there's another accident. I maintained work. I tried to anyways. I was about a week later after I had this operation here. I got a metal plate in, holding this up, and this is all healed up now, here and here and here. But this metal plate is, had basically held up my cheekbone so that it could be fixed. Went back to work a week later. And, because of just basically brain fog, I was still kind of, the anesthetics and the pain medication was still there. I was hallucinating and having some issues with just remembering things, trying to communicate. I'd start a sentence and just kind of not remember where I was at in the sentence, what I was trying to say, those types of things. And so I took some time off, and that lasted through January 1st. Went back to work January 2nd, I think it was, and was still not right. My head wasn't right. I was, drinking a little bit and just having a really difficult time with my emotions. Kelly and I, my wife, were separated. We've been separated for over 3 years. And it's been tough. So after I got healed up, and not only did it jack my jaw, or my face up, but it destroyed my left shoulder. I got that repaired as well. Went through all the the rehab and all that stuff. And after, I guess after that, I went back to work, and some of the things that were going on at work, and like I say, this has been an ongoing thing for, since I've been back to work. That was June, I think, of 2020, from my shoulder operation. I have had a lot of issues with strength, with stamina. My back, of course, just seems to be an ongoing issue. And I thought, and another thing too is my social relationships, work relationships. I'm edgy. I'm moody. I don't have a lot of tolerance for mistakes of other people or from other people. Um, I'm tired all the time. Got a lot of brain fog. I'd rather sleep than do anything else. That type of thing. It's like a vicious circle. And so, I thought, well, I need to get back into shape. So before about 7 years ago, I started weight training. And at first I was using Starting Strength by Mark Ripito. That was the programming that I was using. Then I went with Jim Wendler and started doing 531. Loved it. But I wanted to get stronger, like really strong. My physique, I've always been, I don't know what the word is scientifically, but I've always been kind of what they call a skinny fat guy. It's hard for me to gain muscle. It's easy for me to gain body fat, as far as in like around my waistline. I've never been a big guy. I've never been strong in my upper body. I've always had a lot of strength in my legs and my hips, and that's just where my genes are. No pun intended. But so I started weight training 3 times a week, doing Wendler's 531. Loved it, and I started using testosterone injection, black market, and I was using 300 milligrams a week, which at the time I was doing 100 milligrams every other day, basically 3 times a week. But that's all that I was using. I was getting strong. I think my deadlift, before I stopped working out, my deadlift was up to 485 by 5 reps. My bench was 255, and that was 5 reps. And my squat was 425, 435, somewhere right around there. 5 by 3, which is 3 sets of 5, and then had an overhead press, and I was at 215, 3 sets of 5. So I was getting stronger. I was getting bigger. I was feeling really, really good. I'm lifting now. I've been lifting on and off because of pain for for a year now. I'm not really getting stronger. I'm gaining fat. I've gotten up to 335 on my deadlift. My bench, I use a close grip bench to keep my elbows in because of the shoulder injury. Got up to 175, 3 sets of 5. Got up 290, 295, 5 sets of 3 on squat. And my overhead press has been up, I think it was, I'd have to look at my book, but I think 145, 150, somewhere right around there. 3 sets of 5 repetitions as well. And I've been in, I've been in a lot of pain. My chiropractor is trying to still help me out. He's keeping me together. My diet hasn't really changed. I do drink beer too much. I'm getting divorced again. I don't sleep well. As a matter of fact, I have kind of like an insomnia. I wake up very easily. I don't have deep sleep. I also do not, my diet is not great, but it's not poor. I'm up to 225 pounds. Here in the next video or whatever, I'll show you my body composition. Don't want to, but I'm going to, because what this is really going to be is a journey for Dallas. It's going to be a journey for my son as well, Austin. It's affected just so much of my life that, psychologically, I go through counseling. I'm on 20 milligrams of basically of Prozac, and then 10 milligrams of Doxepin to supposedly help me sleep, but it makes me feel like garbage during the day. I don't want to be on either one of them. I may have to be, but I don't want to be. Here about 2 months ago, I came across a fellow by the name of Jay Campbell on YouTube. Jay Campbell wrote a book called Testosterone, the Testosterone Optimization Therapy Bible. Started researching. About a month ago, I knew that there was something that was going wrong with me. I didn't know, I could not put my finger on it. I felt like garbage all the time. I was scared that, I had cancer or, something. My bowels didn't work right. My stomach wasn't working right. I had lost control of my bowels on several different occasions. And if you don't know what that means, you shit your pants. Excuse the vulgarity, but it's not fun. And at one time it happened when I was having a walk with my son. It's humiliating, especially around somebody that you love. And that's vulnerable. So I went and had some blood work done. All of my levels, as far as in my cholesterol, my blood pressure, my hemoglobin, my everything was all normal. As a matter of fact, the only thing that the doctor, my physician, even hinted to is he's thought my cholesterol was maybe a little bit high, is what he said. Maybe a little bit. However, I did request a testosterone test, and my free testosterone is at 290, or excuse me, at 210. The normal is anywhere between 275, I think, right now, and 950. But that's gone down. The normality has gone down. The high is now like 950 or something, or it used to be 1150 in 2017. That's what the American Medical Association, or whatever, that goofball thing, that's what they deemed it as. And my total testosterone is at 270. And that was, I think it was taken in the afternoon, but still, I know that it's low. And the more that I study, the more that I, consider everything that's going on with me physically, I think that I'm pretty sure that my endocrine system is totally jacked up. So what I've done is I looked into a clinic that is, it's in Chattanooga, Tennessee. The doctor's name is Keith Nichols. He's very well known around the world with testosterone optimization. His clinic is called Tier 1 Health and Wellness. I've done the paperwork for it. The next step is to get more blood work done so that he knows how to treat me. If anybody is interested, please go to Jay Campbell, and his last name is spelled Campbell on YouTube. Look up Jay Campbell, look up Dr. Keith Nichols, Nichols. And what I want to do is I want to, on a weekly basis for the next little while, I want to upload how I'm doing with this treatment, going through all of the steps that that Dr. Nichols is going to be putting me, giving me to take. I want to share what I'm going to be taking. I want to share how I feel. I want to try to be as transparent as I can possibly be. I might go into, just some of the things that I'm doing, like with my son, psychologically, how I'm doing, my physical fitness as far as in weightlifting, and how I'm, maybe advancing, if I'm losing weight, how my body composition could be changing, my diet. I want to kind of the whole gambit, I want to be, like I said, as transparent as I can possibly be, so that I can document it, and people can, the viewers, you can, see what is the transformation. I'm 52 years old. I have a 5.5-year-old son. I do not want to feel like total garbage and worse as he's growing up. I want to share, you know, good times with him. I want to have adventures with him. I want to, be there for him and not be so, like, I guess you could say, whether it's my mental state of health or my physical state of health, be a weakling. And I'm doing it for myself, but I'm also doing it for him. I'm doing it for my work relationships. I'm doing it for, just for the possibility of a better life. And I hope that makes sense to everybody. There's a lot of stigma that's involved with, especially in the medical community, involved with hormone optimization. And I think that men get a bad rap for wanting to take care of themselves, kind of like women do. Women go out and do a lot of different things to look good, to feel good. And if you think about it, I mean, they're going to get their nails done. They're going to get the pedicure. They're going to go get their, hair dyed. They're going to, some women go to the gym. There's just all kinds of different things that, that women do to help them feel better about themselves as a person, as a wife, as a mother, whatever it might be, socially. And it seems like, men aren't supposed to do things it's kind of frowned upon to be masculine anymore. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of that type of mentality. I'm sick of the way that our society looks down upon men as being misogynist, being just whatever. And I want to feel good. I want to look good. I want to feel strong, and I want to, not only feel strong, but I want to be strong. And that doesn't just include being physically strong. It includes being mentally strong, spiritually strong, psychologically strong. And so anyways, if you want to join me on this adventure that I'm going on, I don't have any subscribers. I've got one video up that was taken 6 years ago with a horse. But if you'd be so kind, I'd like to share this with you, and you can subscribe, like if you want to. The YouTube thing doesn't really, it's not something that I'm like going after, to be monetized or whatever. Don't really care about that. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But this is my my opportunity to have documentation that I can hopefully share, not only with viewers, but my son when he gets older, and other people that could be having the same type of issues that I'm having. So anyways, going on 45 minutes of a long rant, and I want to end it here. So join me again. Let's see here. Today is the 14th of June right now, Monday. I think it's the 14th. But anyways, I want to smile more. So anyways, you guys take care, and I hope that you join me on my expedition that I'm going on. Thank you. Bye.